So, you might think the Africa Cup of Nations final was settled back in January, right? Well, think again. The real final, it's just getting started. We're talking about a victory won on the pitch that's now being fought over in a courtroom. And honestly, this case could change the game forever. Let's dive in.
I mean, this quote really says it all, doesn't it? Just let that sink in. The final whistle blows, a champion is crowned, but then, weeks later, the real decisive blow comes from an office. So how on earth does a win on the field get completely flipped upside down by a rule in a book? That's what we're going to break down.
And here we are, the latest development. As of March 25th, it's official. The Senegalese Football Federation isn't backing down. They've taken this fight all the way to the top. We're talking the Court of Arbitration for Sport, or CAS, in Switzerland. They want that AFCON crown back, and believe me, the legal battle is on.
Okay, this right here gets to the absolute core of the whole thing. On the pitch, Senegal wins 1-0. Simple enough, right? But in the boardroom, the Confederation of African Football, that's CAF, says the official result is a 3-0 loss for Senegal. I mean, how is that even possible? How does a victory you fought for turn into a forfeit? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, here's the thing. This wasn't just some simple penalty call. This was, for all intents and purposes, a regulatory trap. And the whole thing hinges on just a few minutes of protest, a very specific rule, and a decision that came down nearly 2 months after the game was over. Wild.
14 minutes. That's the number at the very center of this entire storm. You see, way late in the game, at the 90+8-minute mark, there was a super controversial call. And in response, the Senegalese team, well, they walked off the pitch. They were only gone for 14 minutes. But as it turns out, those 14 minutes were more important than the entire 90 that came before them.
So why were those 14 minutes so critical? It all comes down to this one principle: operational continuity. Think of it like a light switch for the match. It's either on or it's off. It has to keep going without interruption. When Senegal left the field, they flipped that switch to off. They broke the flow of the game, and in doing so, they unknowingly walked right into a trap hidden deep in the CAF rulebook. Now, CAF had choices here. It's not like they were forced into this. They could have gone with Article 82, the standard stuff, fines, maybe a few suspensions. But no, they went for Article 84. And Article 84, that's the nuclear option. It's the one that gives them the power to just completely wipe out the result on the field to pretend it never happened.
And boom, this is the direct result of hitting that Article 84 button. The score is now 3-0, an automatic administrative win for the other team. It literally doesn't matter what happened during the game. The rulebook just creates a whole new reality, a new score, and, well, a new champion.
And that's the official jargon for it, an administrative forfeit. It's exactly what it sounds like, a complete override of what happened on the field in favor of what a committee decides in an office. It's an incredibly powerful tool, and one that CAF waited a full 57 days after the final whistle to even use. All right, so the fight has left the pitch. It's left the boardroom in Cairo, and now it's landed in a courthouse in Lausanne, Switzerland. But let me tell you, the road to getting a legal victory here is anything but smooth. It is filled with its own set of traps and hurdles. Just take a look at this timeline. The finals played in January, but the verdict from CAF, it doesn't drop until March. That's a 57-day gap. Think about that. That massive delay has just poured gasoline on the fire, and of course, led directly to Senegal taking this thing to CAS.
So you'd think, okay, the appeal is filed, things must be moving now, right? Nope. The whole case has ground to a halt. It's completely stuck in a procedural traffic jam. So what's the holdup?
The answer is a little thing called the reasoned decision. It's basically the full, detailed legal why behind the verdict. And here's the kicker. CAF has announced their decision, but they still haven't released this document. The Court of Arbitration for Sport is essentially sitting there with its hands tied. They literally cannot move forward until they get this crucial piece of paper from CAF.
And this is where the story just blows up and goes way beyond football. We're talking about the Senegalese government itself stepping in and demanding a corruption probe. On top of that, you've got these super serious allegations floating around about outside influence on the ruling. Yeah, this isn't just about a soccer game anymore. This is a full-blown geopolitical showdown.
So when you take all of this, the controversy, the legal battle, the political pressure, it all boils down to one huge, fundamental question about the future of football itself. And the answer could set a precedent for years to come.
So what really matters more? Is it the sporting merit, the actual 1-0 victory that happened on the field? Or is it administrative authority, the power of a rule book to just erase that and make it a 3-0 forfeit? That is the ultimate question that the folks at Casbusia have to figure out.
So what's next? Well, the clock is officially ticking. CAS has just 20 days to do its initial review of Senegal's appeal, so yeah, the next few weeks are going to be absolutely critical. We could be on the verge of a historic reversal.
You know, when you strip everything else away, this whole mess comes down to one question. Is a championship won with a ball or with a rule book? Is the soul of the game about what happens on the pitch, or does the real power lie in the hands of the people who write the rules? One thing's for sure. The final whistle on this match definitely hasn't blown yet.